Well, good afternoon and welcome to a special Island Stat Sport Talk. I'm your host, Earl Based, and joining me is the man that represented Bermuda at the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup that recently concluded in the Caribbean, Mr. Emerson Carrington. First of all, Mr. Carrington, welcome back. I know you've had some time to gather all your thoughts after the World Cup, but a bit of experience for umpire to actually be selected to officiate such a prestigious event. I mean, we all know about league games, we know about international games, but when you get picked to or selected to officiate a World Cup, regardless of whether it's the Senior World Cup or the Under-19 World Cup, how did that make you feel when you got that message that you would be the one officiating in the Under-19 Cricket World Cup?
Yeah, well, good afternoon. Thanks, Earl, for having me. Really appreciate it. It's good to be back in Bermuda, despite the weather. I mean, today is a nice day. Yeah, when I got the call, I was humble, a bit surprised because at our level, meaning the members of the National Development Panel, we don't often get to officiate at the bigger events. We might get a chance to do the qualifiers, that's traditional, but seldom we get opportunities to do the finals and stuff like that. So it was humbling, a bit surprising, but of course I didn't say no. So yeah, it was an awesome opportunity.
Now you arrive, you get to do some warm up matches. Does that take I guess does that shake the nerves out? Because I know the players are nervous and they want to get started. So must the officials.
Yeah, it does help. It was a chance to work on some stuff, to fine tune some other stuff, to get used to having TV crews and that kind of stuff around, just to get you in that frame of mind, the whole atmosphere, because of course it is broadcast worldwide and that kind of stuff. A chance to do some work with colleagues, to meet new colleagues and stuff, and just to get everybody on the same page, so to speak. So yeah, the warm up matches did help. Did help a lot.
The fact that, like you talked about colleagues, everybody's got their own kind of style. I know umpiring is one flat way, but people add in a little bit of flair to how they want to officiate. Just making sure that everybody understood the do the basics right. How much did the people who were overseeing the officials make sure that you guys understood that part?
Yeah. Well, there were three match referees. One from the Caribbean, one from the UK, and one from Sri Lanka, and there were two umpire coaches. Now that aspect was new to me because I've never done a tournament where there was an actual umpire coach. So they were in charge of our first 5 days in Guyana, and we started off in Guyana. We were in quarantine in the hotel, so a lot of stuff was done by Zoom, and they made sure they weren't trying to change how you are or your flair, that kind of stuff, the individualism, but they're trying to make sure certain things were standard. So yeah, I found that colleagues that train, say in Asian stuff, have a slightly different version of doing stuff, but the end result basically is the same. So it's kind of getting used to that, getting used to working with your partner. I mean, you would have had a little brief before the start of the game to make sure your signals and your communication is on the same page, and then really get into the game. But once the game start to flow, you pick up little things, and then you know how to operate basically.
Now, one thing about an umpire, you unlike all the players, you have to concentrate on each and every ball. Turn on, turn off, because what you want to be able to do is clear your mind of the last ball because you got the next ball coming. How do you personally do that in a game?
Well, over time, it becomes kind of automatic. You rely a lot on the team. ICC pushes a lot of team, or player control team, which is basically five persons. You have the match manager, you have the TV umpire, the fourth umpire, and the two on-field umpires. So you're relying a lot on that support, especially from the TV umpire, in terms of checking on balls, if people are infringing the 30-yard circle, stuff like that. So a lot of stuff you can really focus in on during the game because you have that extra sort of eyes in your ear, so to speak, just telling you, okay, you might miss that, or you might want to have a look at that. So I like the whole um, the whole idea of a full playing control team. Obviously, locally, you only have basically two umpires, so it's a lot more work, a lot more involved. But internationally, when you have a full playing control team, it is really it looks. I mean, a lot of stuff is missed on TV, but it's really easier when you have that extra persons just to support you on the field.
When did you personally feel comfortable that, hey, I'm doing the under-19 World Cup?
Yeah, well, you try to block out the event, so to speak, out of your mind because you really don't want to mess up, especially on TV, especially if it's a close game and a wrong call could swing it
Right.
either way. So you try as far as possible to relax. So I would say like the first couple of overs, you're a bit nervous. But once you get into the game and you start to really focus in and concentrate, you kind of sort of treat it like just another game, and you tend to relax more. And like I said, you have the third umpire in your ear, giving you little pointers, saying, okay, you might be standing a bit too close there or this. So you really get that support. So it's much easier internationally.
What was the most satisfying thing you got out of umpiring the under-19 World Cup?
The most satisfying thing, the main thing I would say is having now been assigned an umpire coach. I didn't have that before. I never saw it as umpire. Sometimes I love to do. It's like my hobby, so to speak. It's not my real job. Guys that do it as a profession have that umpire coach, and an umpire coach is I'm now discovering is really helpful. And that even out of season, even when you're off, you can reach out and you can get a little guidance. You can run stuff, different scenarios by him. So you need that kind of support, sort of take you to the next level. Because that's why I'm sort of aspiring to know to get the TV umpiring aspects of just started that training with Mr. Peter Nero, and that's to get me now to the next level rather than be a one-dimensional umpire where you can only be on the field or do fourth umpire duties. Now, once you have that accreditation, you can now do TV games, and that just adds a bit more to your overall portfolio.
And but just hearing you say that, I think a lot of people don't understand the other aspects of umpiring or being an official in a game because there's so many different rules to play to have a game completed, especially an international match. I mean, we can all throw up a game and just say, okay, this is a local game. But when it gets to international, there's so many different requirements and there's so many opportunities out there that you just have to make yourself available in order to do so. Yep. The fact that you've gotten this opportunity now and you want to progress, I think it bodes well for other local umpires who now have somebody who's kind of pushing that door open, that now they can say, okay, well, let me step right behind him, and when he opens the door, I can kind of walk in.
Yeah, and that's the idea. Each one to teach one. You know, like I think I said in the earlier interview, when one of us succeed, we all succeed because it just shows internationally, people responsible at ICC and the Americas that there's quality officiating here, and it tends to sort of balance out where when our cricketers do well, the officiating does well. So you don't want to have a situation where the officiating is way up here, but then the players are still struggling to catch up. So on that point, the BCB has reached out to be with an invitation to be part of their high performance program. So all this sort of information and knowledge I'm bringing back, hopefully I can share and we can start to see some improvements in some other areas of our cricket.
Now, what was some of the messages or some of the information given at the conclusion of the tournament? Because obviously they have to do an evaluation of how you play, how you umpired the entire tournament. They'll do game by game, but then they give you overall performance. What was that conversation like?
Yeah, it was more or less like most of those countries play cricket year round, despite the weather. I mean, you have people in Oman, the climate is sort of like us because it gets cold and stuff, but they play cricket in and out of season, so to speak. We had some Pakistani umpires there that as soon as they left, they went back to the what the league up there,
Yeah.
the franchise
Yes.
league.
Yes.
So it's playing more cricket, and I think we need that. I think we can't have it being a season, so it runs from April to September, then we stop. I know there's a challenge with fields and areas to play, but we have to look at other competitions that we can have our cricketers playing year round cricket. And I think that's the biggest thing coming out of that. Because if the cricket is played year round, then the officiating has to be year round. So we're all on the same playing field when it comes to that. So that was the biggest takeaway, like that, and just to have more cricket. Have more cricket. Like I said, I know there's an issue with financing and stuff like that. That'll be always an issue, but we have to find ways to get our players playing cricket year round. And it doesn't have to be in Bermuda. I mean, we are part of the Americas. The city is just a sort of stone throw away. Is getting involved or getting, if you can't get a full team, at least getting some players into those areas that can bring stuff back, and we can start improving cricket, putting it back where it was before.
Sure. Well, I want to say congratulations to you. Job well done, and we look forward to your next assignment. Hopefully, it's right around the corner. Whatever it may be, I know you represent yourself and this country very well, and just want you to know that when you appeared on the screen and it said Bermuda, it was a proud moment for me, and I know a lot of other people as well. That the fact that Emerson Carrington was representing Bermuda as the umpire in the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup, a big thing.
Yeah, thanks, Earl. I mean, if that my having officiated at the Under-19 World Cup inspires other people to come out and officiate, we always looking for people. We're always short of officiating, and there are opportunities. There are opportunities in it. Believe me, there are opportunities.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thanks again.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.